Hi, this is Edip. December 7, 2017. Yesterday, Donald Trump, according to his Twitter partner, Dotard, the liar-in-chief, he broke Guinness record. He's breaking the record every day. Lies and over-lies, lies to the power of lies. This guy declared that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel, which has been, but United States officially did not recognize it. Also did not mention Palestinian rights in Jerusalem. I have mixed reaction towards that. First, I want to tell you that yes, some of you are asking regarding my trip to London and Oslo. I will soon, God willing, I will post my speech at British Parliament in my YouTube, at my YouTube channel. And they were fantastic, very good trip, and my speech was well received. It was full house. Of course, I doubt any member of parliament under that roof made a speech like that even close. It was naked truth, truth to the power. And during my trip to London, it was a 10-day trip to United Kingdom and Norway. I met many peacemakers, people who care about peace and justice. And I do believe that against our democratic process have been hijacked by multinational corporations and military-industrial complex. That's the one causing wars and terror around the world. We need humans, all children of Adam, to transcend the national borders, the race, the colors, our religious, whatever divisions created among us, those barriers. We need to destroy those walls. We need to unite for what? For justice, for social justice, economic justice, for human rights, and for peace against warmongers, against military-industrial complex, against pigs whose appetite is unlimited, is infinite. Right now, 1% owns more than 50% of world's wealth, and they are the one causing conflicts and wars among us, among children, and the children of poor people from one country is sent to kill the children of other poor people. Meanwhile, the rich get richer and they become heroes. Okay, that's there. And mixed feelings. Why I have mixed feelings? One is I have considered, I know Israel is not representative of all Jews. In fact, maybe majority of Jews have problem with the racist policy of Israel against Palestinians, and a very cruel policy. I have many Jewish friends, including Noam Chomsky, and anyway, I don't need to count their names, but there are many Jewish people who have conscience, who are not racist. They are against Israel. They feel that Israel misrepresenting them. And one is Israel, you know, about 3 years ago. In fact, I made a speech in one of the synagogues, multi-religious meeting. I was invited, and over there I had a sobering speech. If you search YouTube, Edip Yuksel, synagogue, and you will find my speech. It basically telling the truth. Sometimes truth could be disturbing. Israel is not victim. Israel has killed many more Palestinians. Many times. The number of Palestinians killed are in thousands. The number of Israelis killed are in few. very big discrepancy between the power, between the number of killed, and there's not single Israeli in Palestinian jails, prison, but many Palestinians are in Israeli prisons. Many of them were kidnapped. And the number of people, just give you one, the most recent big confrontation in Gaza. Israel can kill any Palestinian and declare them terrorists after killing. Through drones, jets, kill. They kill every time. It is daily routine. But if a Palestinian kills what they kill, they do not have jets and drones and stuff. They go explode this and kill, and they become terrorists. You never hear terrorist Jews who kill more, 10 times, 20 times, in fact, maybe even more times, depending on the year. Palestinians, they kill children, they get away with it. Just one example, in 2014, Israel declared to be victim that Hamas is throwing rockets to Israel. 1,500 rockets. And if you check the news, not a single person died of those rockets. Not a single person. What kind of rockets? They are peanut rockets. Anyway, and then Israel making as if Israel is not provoking them, Israel is not killing them, torturing them. At the same time doing all those things, Israel is not mentioned. Israel is victim all the time, while grabbing their land since the beginning, correct? Look at the map of Israel in 1948, and now you will see what's going on. Anyway, and Israel attacked Gaza with jets, with tanks. Palestinians do not have tanks, do not have jets, do not have nukes. Our victim Israel went there, killed 2,000 Palestinians in 2014. 500 of them children. Did you hear those children? Did you see their pictures? Did you hear calling Jewish terrorists? No, you didn't hear this in Western media. What you heard senators, all senators, senators in the US Congress, including Barack Obama, who supposedly got Peace Prize. They sent their condolences to Israel, not 2,000 Palestinians, mostly 99% civilians, 500 children who were killed in hospitals and schools. United Nations condemned Israel, said we sent Israel, we shared the coordinates of some United Nations refugees shelters or schools. They deliberately bombed those places. 2,000 Palestinians. What did United States senators, congressmen, and President Obama did? They sent their condolences to Israel for losing 2 soldiers who were on killing spree, who were massacring civilians in Gaza, the biggest open concentration camp. They're harassed, there are checkpoints. The Israeli occupation forces every day turn every day to hell to them. And Israel, the so-called peace process, has been the biggest lie to get more time to grab the Palestinian lands, new settling, new settlers, illegal settlers. Therefore, I have no affinity towards Israel. Distinguish Israel from Jews. I said there are many Jews, in fact more Jews, who are protesting Israel. They think Israel is a black spot in the history of Jewish people, who are oppressed, who are massacred, who are subjected to genocide, but they are acting like their enemies in the past against Palestinians. I'm not also a fan of Palestinians, by the way, but I have to be just. I have to be just. In fact, Palestinians, for example, they did not support Kurdish people who were massacred by Saddam Hussein. 100,000 of them were killed, and by the Turkish government. But you expect Palestinians would feel empathy towards Kurdish people? No, but still, there are children, there are innocent people who are killed in this fight. It is not a divine fight. It is a satanic, diabolic conflict based on race, based on fake religions. I am better than you, one claim against the other. Both sides are racist. I'm not saying Arabs are not racist. Arabs are also racist. If they had power, perhaps they would do the same. That time I would be condemning them for oppressing Jews, for taking their land. Okay? No one owns the land. The land belongs to God. No one created the land. We need to be able to share the land in justice and peace, with justice and peace. Okay? Here it is. Come my split feelings. The feeling is, this is really going to change the equation. Saudi Arabia, the axis of Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, stooges of right now Donald Trump, they are kind of used to as a conflict to create more conflict and wars in the Middle East, so that our bloody military industrial complex will sell more weapons, which they have been doing all the time. And now, since Saudi Arabia, the most corrupt and oppressive, and has nothing to do with Islam, this country, so-called 57 Muslim country, have nothing to do with Islam, peacemaking, or with the message of the Quran. They betrayed their God-given reason and the Quran. In this book, the translation of the Quran, I have translated Quran into 2 languages. This is the English one, and this is the Manifesto for Islamic Reform. Please find this one PDF at 19.org, and this also I put this one in appendix here. If you get this one from Amazon.com or as a PDF somewhere, you will see. They have nothing to do with Islam, but Saudi Arabia is a very corrupt regime, and they are basically using religion in order as opium of masses. And this religion is very dogmatic, therefore they will react to this one. The extremists will react to American decision to declare publicly that Jerusalem belongs to Israel alone, because Donald Trump did not mention Palestinian rights in that. Therefore, there will be difficulty for Saudi Arabia to exploit these religions while trying to cooperate with Israel and United States, put in conflict. Iran will be in difficulty. They cannot fight Israel, but they will be just making big noise. Turkey, Erdogan is the biggest ally with Israel. Don't look at the outside. For domestic consumption, says 1 minute and talks against Israel, but in reality has been the biggest trade partner with Israel, tripled trade between Turkey and Israel during Tayyip Erdogan's presidency and prime minister times, and also have great relationship in military. Recently, Israel modernized Turkish jets, F-4 and F-5. Turkey paid Israel billions of dollars and purchases drones and many other military vehicles from Israel and kills Kurdish people too with that. Very interesting. That kind of relationship right now, the dynamics is changing. But ultimately, I think as a split feeling, the good things, what will happen, the biggest lie, trick I think is coming to end. The so-called peace process, 2 states. It's a big lie. There cannot be 2 states. Just look at Israel since 1948, the map of Israel, and now you see it taken over. Not much land, not much contiguous land for Palestinians. And when Israel gets also Jerusalem, the city of peace, whatever happened, then it is not possible. Therefore, it leaves the better option, which is 1 state. 1 state. 2 people, 1 state. Therefore, the nature of Israel being a Jewish state may go away, but will not be an Arab state too, thank God. No Arab, no Jew. Well, you are Jew, you are Arab for yourself, but there are so many different people living on that land. Therefore, don't impose your religion, your race on other people. It creates injustice. It's wrong. One of the biggest mistakes that we have these so-called nationalistic states. It replaced religious wars, nation. Basically, 2 things are waved throughout history to manipulate people, to make people, children of poor people, killing the other children of other people. They're also poor usually. The children of the rich, they don't go in front lines to die for their so-called countries. Two things manipulated, two hormones, religious hormones and tribal hormones, race. And unfortunately, when the flag is waved or the holy book is waved, majority of people go crazy. They go die for the corrupt, big thieves, liars, who are directing them to kill each other. Therefore, we need to wake up and to work. Palestinians, you need to change their demand. Instead of two state and other state, they should demand equal rights with Jews in Israel. Israel should be a democratic state, not a Jewish state, not an Arab state. They could have a Senate in order to maybe Jewish people may have a problem regarding the population issue. In order protection of Jewish people, they may have 50-50 of the Senate, but Congress should be according to the number of people, population. Like United States federal arrangement could be made. There are many ways to really solve the issues, the problems. Now, as I said, the peace process is a big lie. Reza Aslan, who wrote here for this Quran translation, recently, it was not recent, it was today. And here, if you want to see some what others said, this is at 19.org. You can see this one or on internet check. Reza Aslan recently said, if you want to share pizza, let's say there are two parties want to share pizza, there cannot be negotiation when one party is keep eating the pizza. Exactly what's happening in so-called peace process between Palestinians and Israel. Israel keep eating the pizza. Meanwhile, they say, okay, peace process, more time. Grabbing the land and having illegal settlements everywhere. Palestinians have no power to stop that. And when they stand against it, they are killed as terrorists. Therefore, I think the real politics imposes on Palestinians the reality, give up from your Palestinian Arab nationalism, and will force also Israel to give up from their Jewish racism and as a kind of superior race. Unfortunately, some Jewish people have this one. Many Jews who are my friend, they reject, of course, this idea. But they need to come together as brothers and sisters. We are all children of Adam. In fact, Jews and Arabs, they are closer to each other than me in terms of race. They are fighting with each other. They are cousins. They are the children of whom? They come from Abraham. And we are tired really watching their wars, their fights. And therefore we need to help any group who is going to work for a one-state solution, a democratic state that will respect human rights and will treat a Palestinian, an Israeli, or anyone who is on the land as equal citizens. That's it. Why not? Precarious situation. I wish that we had United States was a just state. We have laws, protection in the United States, freedom, thank God. But as far as foreign policy, in fact, there is injustice, economic injustice in the US. The corporations are the ones who are making the laws, and recently they stole billions of dollars through new tax law. They steal people's work. The bank, the financial system, they write the laws in their favor. For example, if you have to use the bank in order to survive, to live a decent way in this country. And for example, banks will penalize you if you make a mistake, overdraft 10 cents, they will penalize you $35 minimum. Sometimes they can do even more. In fact, if you have you don't know your balance, let's say you forgot, you made a mistake, and they will make you, lend you a few dollars. For each of them, they will charge $35 fees, and then your next pay, when it goes to the bank, they get that money, they get also the fees. Basically, 10,000% interest they keep charging you, and these laws passed by the bank. In the past, the bank made a mistake. They deposited money in my account by mistake, and I used that money. In fact, I purchased certain things that I wouldn't purchase otherwise. And then they told me, well, this is a mistake. We need the money back. Did I have law on my side to penalize the bank, charge them fee for making that mistake, leading me to spend the money that I didn't have? No, because the laws were designed by corporations. This is just one of the many examples that you don't see, but they are the one, they hijacked our democracies, military-industrial complex, and big corporations and banks, unfortunately, they are the one causing major conflicts in the world, and they are the one also causing terrorism, the gang terrorism, state terrorism, 100,000 times more bigger than gang terrorism. But even the gang terrorism is caused by their infinite appetite for more money and more power. I'm looking forward to have more English videos, God willing. Take care. Peace.